5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Are we on? Are we on?
We are on live.
I like the countdown. We should do that all the time.
You think 5 is good, or should we start with 10?
I'll forget what we're doing by the time we get to 0. Why is it that whenever they say, okay, everyone put your hand in, team on 3, shouldn't it be after 3, team after 3? Because you say 1, 2, 3, team. It should be, if it's on 3, team on 3, it should be 1, 2, team. You with me?
I'm with you. And then sometimes people go backwards. They'll say team on 3, 3, 2, 1.
Throw me a curveball. I couldn't play on a team like that. If I was on a team, I would want to be on a team that doesn't use numbers.
Yeah.
I would be a numberless team.
Team on team.
Yeah.
Ready, team. Team.
Uh-huh. Or team after E. O-N-E, team.
Oh, yes. All right.
Yeah. Dan, how are you doing? It is freezing outside, and that's really all you need to know about me.
Well, I have been experiencing the same thing. Been cold outside. It's starting to warm up a little bit, though. Although the damn groundhog saw a shadow, so
Yeah.
6 more weeks.
Punxsutawney Phil. There is a renowned groundhog in Ohio, too. His name is Buckeye Chuck. I think.
Buckeye Chuck.
Yeah.
How's his record? Because this Phil character has been like, I think out of the last 220 times he's had like an early spring 11. Like he's always 6 more weeks of winter.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. You need to turn to a more reliable source of the furry variety, and Buckeye Chuck, he's the guy.
Buckeye Chuck. Well,
Yeah.
all right. I thought you were going to say you need to turn to a more reliable source of the weather, and that is Ohio Woodburner YouTube channel.
I was at a store the other day, and they had a rock hanging from a rope, and it was a weather device, and it had like, if the rock is wet, it's raining. If the rock is moving, it's windy. I need something like that. Whatever the weather is at Ohio Woodburner, we're complaining about it.
Exactly. No matter what the conditions are, the only true condition is guaranteed 100% chance of complaining.
Uh-huh. The weather is interesting. I still think that, the heat is the biggest problem for me. I can still be somewhat productive when it's just bitter cold out, but not in the heat. I think the heat is more physically dangerous to me than the bitter cold. But this cold that we've had is just, when I said, I was going to say, you can't be productive in this kind of cold, but when I say you, I mean me.
Yes.
Like, you are good looking. I'm saying me. I am, not you.
How is your wood supply at your house doing with the boiler in this cold?
I think I'm in good shape with the wood. This has been a learning year for me, because I had that calamity in the spring with the flooding, and I just made it a point to move all that mudwood back to my house. And so it is legitimate seasoned firewood. Something that, I feel dumb saying this, in 19 years of running my furnace, any seasoned firewood that I've ever burnt in the past was by accident. Because I would just cut it and throw it in the woodshed. I wouldn't split it. Did it get dried out? I don't know, but nothing like what this stuff was, because this was nice firewood. And I would also say, Dan, it is split small, And I think we need to find a scientist because I can't prove any of this. I just go off of the feel of how things are going. And I've used way less wood this winter when I think about how much wood I've started with and how cold it's been. And even though this wood that I've been putting in there is split small, I don't know. I'm beginning to question. It's just like in the firewood industry, people say, "Well, you can't touch firewood or you lose money," which we all know that that is just wrong. And now I'm beginning to wonder the other major assumption is, you've got to have big pieces because it burns longer and you get more heat out of it. Um, I don't know. I don't think that's right. I bet you it's a testable hypothesis. I would allow science to answer that for me, but I am dubious of such a claim now.
Well, let me step in and tell you, I did such an experiment.
You did.
Yes, I did. All in the name of science, but not really science, but when we had that cold spell that came through, I one day put in all rounds that I had just cut up from a log. Now,
Uh-huh.
the log was a standing dead oak that had been cut down last spring, so it was laying in log form. And then I figured out how many pieces of split firewood those rounds would have made. And I burned more in 24 hours with just the rounds than I would have with split seasoned wood.
Huh. Interesting. And I am probably experiencing that same thing right now. It's just I just can't do that kind of stuff. I can't keep track of how much I burn a year. I just can't do it. I'm not going to do it. But just as a general sense, I feel I have burned less wood this year uh, with this small wood that I've been putting in there. It burns differently too, even though it's seasoned and the majority of it's maple. It is leaving bigger piles of coal on top of my grates than what I'm used to. And I think that's because the wood's burning probably better. Like when you have a large round on there, I have a forced air firebox. So that blower is just blowing in there constantly. And I think it cooks off all of the coals and they turn into ash and fall through while it's trying to tear into that big round, sitting on top of the grates.
Yep.
I'm just using less wood.
I wasn't using, I brought in a full tote on the first day when that cold spell started, and I burned through a full tote in 2 days
Yeah.
because I was loading 3 times a day. But it was all split, seasoned, and it's just when it's 20 below with a 40 below wind chill feels like factor, you're going to
Yeah.
burn a lot no matter what.
I agree. They're very inefficient. It just seems that I don't know. There are a lot of variables involved in heating your house with an outdoor wood furnace because I have had days too where it's just been brutally cold and then like a warm day and it just seems like I didn't use as much wood on the cold day. I don't know, just it might be it could have been a different species that I threw in there or it could have been like less windy.
Yep.
There's just so much that goes into it. It'd be a hard study, but I'm sure a scientist could pull it off.
Yeah.
I've
It could be
always
done.
had it in the back of I've always had this in the back of my head. Let's pretend that let's make this real simple here, okay? Because there's a lot of variables. Let's just take everything out of the equation. You have a round of firewood of a 8-inch round of maple, a 16-inch stick, round, unsplit, and then you take that same amount of wood and you split it into 4 pieces. And that's what I'm saying. We didn't lose any shards or nothing like that. Same moisture content, same species, just one of them is burnt as a round and the other is burnt as 4 pieces. What BTU would you get off of each?
The same.
You think?
Yeah,
That's
there's
what I feel the same way. But then you hear people, wow, that stuff burns up too fast. So I don't know if that's true, but if it is true, does that mean it just gives off the BTUs faster, although they equal the same amount? Or do they actually burn the exact same amount, but just people have just some illogical conclusion drawn just because they were told that their whole lives? Like, don't touch firewood or you'll lose money.
so were the split pieces set aside to season, or was it like you take 2 rounds, you split one, and you burn it at the same time as
Yeah,
you burn
it'd
the
be the
round?
same. Everything's exactly the same.
So
Same
then it
moisture
wouldn't much
content.
matter.
Yeah, same moisture content, same mass or total amount of organic matter. We didn't, when we split it open, we didn't lose any bark, nothing fell off, nothing, nothing, nothing. Everything is exactly the same. You put them in the exact same type of stove and you measure the heat output of one log as a round versus the four that were split. I'm thinking that I don't know. I'm thinking that it is either the same or the four pieces might even be better.
Right.
It seems
I
like they would burn more efficiently than a round, but what
well,
do
it
I
would,
know?
but generally the burning more efficiently has to do with the fact that you allowed those 4 split pieces to season, so therefore they had less moisture in them than the round.
No, I'm saying that is
Yeah,
everything is exactly the same.
so that's why I'm saying that that test would probably come out to be about the same. But if you took those 4 pieces and set them aside for 6 months, split,
Yes.
they would burn way better than the round.
Yeah, assuming that they seasoned,
Yes,
drop the moisture content.
right. Because the water has to go somewhere. The water in the wood has to go somewhere, and something has to be used to convert that water into steam. So that's where you
Uh-huh.
use BTUs to dry your wood instead of the BTUs to heat your water.
And this is where we need a scientist because there's there's a I don't know, an intersecting line of moisture content where if it becomes too low, wouldn't you lose BTUs?
Well, then you have to then assume though you're having a constant burn where with your boiler it shuts off. And so
Yes.
you
But my scenario is under controlled environment.
yeah.
Okay.
But that's where, I think yeah, how technical and how of a deep dive do you get into? Because in that situation, then that doesn't really apply to outdoor boilers. Because once your water temperature reaches temp, it shuts off.
Yeah. Yeah, things burn differently in your outdoor wood boiler
Yeah.
versus in a fireplace. Yeah.
So that's where I think what you are looking for is the time it takes to recover the temperature of your water in your boiler. So if you can shorten that by having better burning wood, you are therefore burning more efficiently.
Yeah. Yeah, but my test was how it's burnt is irrelevant. They're both burnt exactly the same. So you could have a Franklin stove in a house or a fireplace or an outdoor wood boiler or a fire pit. The round is burnt and then the four pieces are burnt and the measurements are taken. I'm saying that the four split pieces are better. And that therefore defeats the argument that you get from these big firewood people, that complain that you're splitting your wood too small.
The guys that load their logs with a forklift into their boiler through the door and it barely
Uh-huh.
fits.
Yeah, I'm saying that. Now, there could have been studies out there. I have looked for these kind of things on these internets, looking for studies, and I don't see anything. And there are a lot of colleges out there with these agricultural programs or forestry programs. And have there been studies done in a laboratory on the optimal burning of wood?
Yes, there have
Has
been.
there been, But well, then what are the results, and why am I still asking? If the answers are already known, I want to know them.
They put the results out there, and they found that 95% of the people replied with that they were wrong. So they just took the study down.
Yeah. Or what's it matter? I live in New York and they've banned firewood.
Did you put those 4 pieces on the fire with the bark down or the bark up?
Oh gosh. Yeah. I think that there needs to be I need answers.
Oh,
Where we need to get a what remember our one interview with Harry Watt? What did he say? He was a wood scientist. We need we need a wood scientist, Dan, that could
yes.
do their science thing on this and tell us what the answer is. I want to know.
And what then would you do with that information? Because, like I
I
said,
would,
we would
yeah,
have everyone just saying that it's wrong anyway.
uh-huh. I would continue to do everything exactly the same way if I
Yep.
knew what the answer was. But I like to find and learn new stuff. It doesn't mean I'm going to take action on it. It's like with electric cars. I think electric cars are really cool. I think they are the future, but I would never own one. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
I think, I believe what Elon Musk said that, about oil and gasoline. We're going to run out one day. So what are we waiting on? So the future is electricity and solar and electric cars, but I'll never get one. I like I like my gasoline and fumes and stuff, so whatever. But the same thing with firewood. I'll probably just keep doing it the way I've always been doing it, and probably everyone else would too. But I'd like to know.
Well, in my experiment that I did and the video that I made on it, I was then pointed out the fact that yes, people would concede that burning round, not seasoned, fully seasoned wood is not as efficient. But then you have to realize that to split that wood, you needed to have a splitter, you needed to run your chainsaw, you needed to do this,
Yeah,
you needed to. So, like, there's always going to be those trade offs.
sure.
And I don't know. I was surprised because in the 24-hour period with the green or not green, semi-seasoned round chunks, big long ones, it would have totaled 56 pieces. And then when I used smaller split seasoned wood, it was only like 42. So
Really?
yeah.
So that'd be a lot of work to make 57 pieces out of logs you'd have to split. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm just saying
That's
that I
work.
was
That's work.
surprised that I burned that much more wood. So if I would have just cut logs into big 32-inch long rounds, I would need a lot more wood to get through the season.
Uh-huh.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'll gladly split wood if I know I'm not going to burn as much. I mean, to me, that's a no
Yeah.
brainer.
I admit that my outdoor wood furnace is probably the most inefficient appliance on the face of the earth. And it uses a lot of wood. And I just know that I got to have a lot of wood to get through the winter. And it just seems like, I don't know. It's like when we had a 1973 Ford LTD, you didn't really worry much about fuel efficiency. And I just feel the same way with my Hardy. And that probably even runs counter to a lot, of me having an appreciation for science, but I'm still not going to do anything about it because wood smoke isn't healthy to breathe. It's not good for the environment with the particulate matter in it and stuff and all. I recognize that too, but you know, we all have our axe to grind and I grind mine for different reasons.
So you're not you feel that you have a large enough supply of wood where whether or not you could find a way to be more efficient wouldn't really matter. You'd rather take the more convenient route and maybe burn a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like I've been doing this long enough and the wood supply doesn't bother me. And I don't know, even if I did have one of these newfangled furnaces like you did, I don't know, for some reason, I just feel like I'd still be burning the same amount of wood.
Well, I have been burning a lot less. I've noticed. But
You think
again,
you have?
yeah, up until it was 20 below zero for a week. That week I probably burned more in a week than I did the previous month. But overall, I'm down on my overall consumption.
Uh-huh. Do you see when you dig into your furnace, do you see like accumulation here and there, of creosote and
Oh yeah, you're gonna have that no matter what. I mean, no matter what, because that's just the nature of the on-off cycle of burning, smoldering, burning,
yeah.
smoldering.
I just did a video where I cleaned my smokestack out on mine. I didn't realize it was that plugged up from 19 I'm in my 19th winter. I swear I've never ever took that stack off. And that's where I was scratching my head on this because I felt it was just burning and behaving differently. And I thought it was because I was burning actual seasoned firewood for the first time ever. But then all of a sudden my smokestack is plugged up. Was it plugged up to begin with, or did this kind of wood do it to it? I don't know. But it was a simple thing. I just pulled it right out of the top of the furnace and just banged it all out, put it back in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I had my stack close up once. It's and like you said, you notice a difference in how it's burning and like smoke is coming out the door differently. It's not going up the stack. So there's signs that you can tell when something's a little off.
Uh-huh. Yeah. People were encouraging me to buy a brush and sweep it out every year. And I told them I'll just clean it out in 19 years from now. Come see me in my nursing home and I'll tell you how to do it. Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah. So Dan, we need to find ourselves a real honest to goodness wood scientist. Someone that's got one of those white jackets with a lot of pens in the pocket.
Ooh.
Probably got glasses with the tape.
Yep.
And they'll like talk about scientific terms, but then they get us answers. I want answers, Dan.
You want the truth.
I can't handle the truth. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, until we find a wood scientist out there, I guess we'll just keep going with what we've always believed, what we've always been told.
Whatever works for us or whatever works for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you should do.
Firewood's a largely personal enterprise anyways.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Just do what you want to do.
Do what you want to do and be ready to be told you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. If I wanted to be told I was doing everything wrong, I'd go back to my old job.
If I wanted to be told I'm doing everything wrong, I'll just put up a YouTube video.
I thought you were going to say you'd go hang out with your wife. Yeah.
Well, all right. Until we get that scientist, should we strike up the band?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, Dan. Let's strike up the band.
All right. Well, everyone, if you know of a wood scientist, send us his name. thewoodhounds@gmail.com.
Or her name.
Or her name, yes. And we'll see you back here next week on The Woodhounds, the #1 firewood podcast in the world.
Yeah, and if you would please consider giving us a 5-star review. It helps with those algorithm things that you hear about. And Dan, let's tell everyone out there while they are looking for a
scientist.
And not just any kind of scientist, but
A wood scientist.
there you go. Consider staying
Safe.
I was going to say cool or warm or whatever. And while you're doing that, have
A great day.